Coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda, Accra. This is Midday Live on TV3. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Narcotics Control Board destroys narcotic substances valued at 500,000 Ghana cedis. Ashaiman Municipal Assembly bans trading activities along streets. Also, residents of Swami Municipality in the Ashanti region want government to repair bridge linking it to Kumasi. Volta Regional Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council threatened to defy closed fishing season. And on the international front, sky watchers around the world witnessed longest blood moon eclipse of the 21st century. Details of these stories and more coming up shortly. My name is Grace Hamwa Sari. Now to our first story. The Ashaiman Municipal Assembly has banned all trading activities along the streets of Ashaiman to enhance free flow of movement. The Municipal Chief Executive Albert Boachi Otre on Friday joined the Ashaiman Municipal Assembly City Guards to execute the exercise. The exercise was conducted with support from the police to sack traders who have occupied the streets in the municipality and are preventing the free movement of vehicles and persons. The exercise follows a tragedy at Ashaiman last Thursday when a Kia Rhino truck ferrying concrete building blocks ran into traders and pedestrians, resulting in 1 death and 6 others sustaining severe injuries. Addressing the media after the exercise, the MCE warned that anyone who defies the order will face the full rigors of the law.
We are not going to go back. Yes, that is why we have employed additional hands to assist the already existing task force and the city guys. We are going to ensure sustainability. So we will station people here permanently for that process, once we continue to also give them other alternative spaces.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for the Ashaiman constituency, Ernest Nogbe, has visited the accident victims at the Tema General Hospital. He said he backs the Assembly in its decision to evict hawkers from the pavement. To some other stories, the Ghana Highways Authority has warned institutions and companies building concrete culverts to serve as driveway to their offices along the Accra-Tema motorway to stop or be prosecuted. The Greater Accra Regional Director, Lawrence Slamte, who gave the warning, said the practice is a clear violation of the law.
The 19.4-kilometer Accra-Tema motorway serves as a major transit point to the industrial hub of Ghana. Manufacturing companies along the motorway have constructed huge culverts to provide entry and exit points. This culvert, constructed at KICC, leads to metallics. The company, according to Ghana Highway Authority, has been cautioned.
This is unauthorized, this is illegal, and it's unapproved. And because the channel is small, anytime it rains, the water will spill over onto the motorway and there'll be flooding. We are written to them, they haven't stopped. They've gone ahead to pile up boulders and then added crash rock. And we are giving notice that we'll come and break it up.
A few kilometers from KICC is this illegal access route, also constructed by another company. In some instances, the Ghana Highways Authority's road crashes have been destroyed, paving way for the illegality. At Klagon, the officials said they had warned workers at this construction site to stop the practice, but the workers would fill the route during the day and open it up at night to enable their vehicles tip sand at the site at night. Officials showed us this detour on the motorway, which is a properly engineered road.
This, for example, goes all into Community 18 and beyond. So if you want to enter or you want to exit, you come through this way and off you go. So no one is allowed to construct by himself or herself his or her own access. It must be properly engineered by the relevant authority. Safety-wise, it is very, very unsafe for motorists to enter and exit the motorway through the right channels.
The practice, according to the authority, results in loss of revenue at the toll booths.
Let's go to the Ashanti region, where a bridge serving over 2,000 residents within the newly created Swami municipality is posing danger to the lives of road users following years of neglect. Residents fear being cut off from the Kumasi metropolis and adjoining communities if immediate steps are not taken to get the bridge repaired.
This portion of the bridge started falling apart 2 years ago. Residents say several complaints to the city authorities to fix the broken portion did not yield any result. Recent downpour has worsened its already poor state, posing danger to road users. Motorists have to be extra careful whenever they get to the damaged portion of the road. A resident of Swami Kotoko, Adongo Edward Atinga, is pleading with authorities as a matter of urgency to repair it before disaster strikes.
And sometimes the citizens, when walking in the night, then they realize sometimes when it is dark, then they have to fall into the drainage. So, in fact, this is a very big challenge. If care is not taken, within 1 or 2 months' time, it will be disastrous for this community.
Another resident, Aziz Abdul Aziz, blamed city authorities for neglecting them.
We are in the area, we know what is going on. It's sinking small. Going, you watch around, you can see what is going on in it. If they didn't do something about it, we don't know what is going on.
A motorist, Esiedu Bequin, noted that driving on the road scares him, especially when it rains.
It can cause accident. A lot of people can die out of this. So it's better that to put it in a good shape.
Its imminent collapse would cut off residents of Abripo from Swami and adjoining communities.
Away from the Ashanti region, we go to the Volta region, where the Volta regional branch of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council have threatened to defy this closed fishing season if government disregards their pleas to defer implementation until August next year. The group, during a briefing at Adina, also warned that they will attack anyone caught engaged in any form of illegal fishing in their waters. The report by Peter Kwao Adato.
The controversy over the impending closed fishing season refused to go away as small fishing groups continue to oppose the 2018 August date. The latest is the Volta Regional Artisanal Fishers. Like all the earlier groups, the Volta fisher folks have acknowledged the need to observe a closed fishing season, but accused the Fisheries Ministry and the government for sidelining them.
Try 2019 August ma.
We are prepared to even increase the period to 2 months if all bottlenecks are removed and we see the benefits in 2019. But it is too late for us to accept it this year. Besides, we have not been consulted. Not even our various assemblies were consulted. They would have engaged us if they were brought into the picture from the onset.
They wondered why the minister continues to overlook the widespread threat posed by illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing practices.
He mentions countries from Mauritius, Namibia, Morocco and others. Those countries, they're not doing patrolling, light fishing, the using of monofilament nets, and then the dynamite. The minister must see to it that all those illegal activities is being stopped before we can succeed for the close season.
Regional Vice Chairman of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, Seth Agbo, said they would defy the directive if their concerns are not met.
If the government fails to accept our proposal, we advise ourselves. An angry man is an angry man.
A representative of the fishmongers, Melanie Tomechi, pleaded with government to take a second look at the approach. Officials at the Keta Municipal Assembly confirmed the lack of consultation and wondered how the numerous concerns of the fishers can be addressed to ensure compliance.
Let's stay a while longer on this story because Volta artisanal fishers are challenging the rationale to allow tuna vessels to fish during the closed fishing season. The group, which is opposed to the August proposal for this year, insisted the efforts would be fruitless if tuna vessels are allowed to operate since they depend on smaller fishes to bait the tuna.
The Fisheries and Aquaculture Minister, Elizabeth Na Afolikwe, did say tuna vessels will not be part of the directive when she announced the closed fishing season for 2018. Her explanation was that such vessels operate in high seas and international waters not captured in the targeted zone. The minister again hinted that tuna vessels use fishing gear that does not destroy smaller fish and fingerlings.
Tuna vessels are not passed because they operate outside the affected zones, deep into the high sea. They use bigger vessels that goes far from the local zones. Tuna vessels do not compete with you like their trawlers, so their operation during the closed season would not affect anything. Besides, they fish only tuna and nothing else.
But the artisanal fishers in the Volta region disputed these claims.
Normally, they have two main sizes of net which involve in their fishing trawlers. They have the small size net and they have the big net, which is the tuna one. They fish with a juvenile fish to feed the big fish in order to catch the tuna.
They also make the light fishing before they will get the anchovy. Before they will go to the high sea, they will spray the anchovy into the water. Before the tuna will come out, before they will start pulling along. So if they also coming to fish for our coastal area like this, they will affect us.
They contended that tuna vessels again trap other fish which would necessarily end up in the shallow waters. They called on government to explore the solution to the dwindling fish stock in order to maximize their returns.
Let's move away from fish now and do one of our headline stories where the Narcotic Control Board has destroyed narcotic substances valued at 500,000 Ghana cedis at Bundan State Military Training Camp at Sprampram in the Greater Accra region. The haul is a consignment of narcotic substances intercepted from during peddlers last year after the cases were dealt with in courts. The substances destroyed were about 400 kilograms of marijuana and 100 kilograms of crack following a court order for NARCOP to destroy the narcotics. Officials from the Judiciary, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Standard Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency and the military supervised the destruction of the substances. Addressing journalists at the scene, Mr. Solomon Stanley Ayo, Deputy Chief Narcotic Analyst in charge of Divisional Supervision for Supply Reduction, said the illegal substances destroyed were seized at various points such as the Kotoka International Airport, the Borders, Cargo Village and Ghana Post. He said the destruction was also to send signals to the public that the drugs were harmful to the human body and to serve as deterrent to traffickers and users.
People are informed that drugs are good, are not good for them. They are not good. It can destroy you. Once we hear this, you may not go in for it. Some may go in after hearing this, but at least some lives will be saved. Yeah. So this is the main thing we do with the schools, colleges, churches, communities, just to spread the message. Most people don't know the actual stuff of drug. When it comes to drug, they don't know much. So we have to educate them to know the harmful effect of it.
Touching on the seizure of the cat, he stated that although we don't produce or plant cat in Ghana like in East African countries such as Ethiopia, some of the traffickers want to use Ghana as a transit point to European countries and the US. This gives a serious negative reputation to our image as a country. Thus, we are very vigilant to clamp down on their activities.
The drug war is a continuous war through all countries. If we relax one point of it, you create problems, so we have to fight together. So beside our local law enforcement agencies, we will also have collaboration with the other external agencies. We receive intelligence from our counterpart outside Ghana, and this makes our work successful. You cannot fight drug alone.
He warned the traffickers that his outfit is in the lookout to arrest them to save citizens and the image of the country. Now, the National Vocational Training Institute has asked government to extend the free senior higher education to cover technical and vocational training. This, in the views of the Executive Director, Mausi Nudako Awiti, will not only encourage interest but expand the skilled manpower base for accelerated development.
The National Vocational Training Institute, NVTI, since its inception, has trained thousands of people from all walks of life and socio-economic backgrounds in over 29 different skill areas. Over the years, NVTI has been at the forefront of skills acquisition to enable the youth contribute to national development. 600 ex-militants from Nigeria's Niger Delta State and 500 Liberian, Sierra Leone and Ivorian refugees have all been provided with employable skills. However, the institution is grappling with challenges. In the era of technology, its institutions still rely on outmoded machines, tools and equipment. Another challenge is lack of infrastructure and inadequate teaching and learning materials. Head of the institute hopes extending the free SHS education program to cover technical and vocational training will encourage interest and expansion of skills development. Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rekumbrobe, assured of government's commitment to improve on technical and vocational education training.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Identification Authority, Professor Kenatifa, has called on government to equip the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection with the requisite resources to enable them to discharge their duties effectively. Speaking at a book launch in Accra, the NI boss said this will help in minimizing the numerous instances of child rights abuses.
The Children's Act, passed by Parliament, aims at reforming and consolidating laws relating to children in Ghana. Sections of this act include, but not limited to, a child's right of opinion, right to refuse betrothal and marriage, right to life, health, liberty, education and shelter. Though many parents have exceeded expectations in discharging these duties, others have fallen short on this in many instances. It is in this regard that a child's rights advocate and executive director of the Child Rights International, Bright Apia, compiled a book titled "A Child is a Subject of Law." It is one intended to make an impact on the lives of children and be used as reference material for legal practitioners.
We have realized that most of the professionals, sometimes the way and manner they interact with children is not the best. So we really want to use this book and then make it available to them so that they can pick the document and then know how to deal with children, and then also use it as an advocacy tool to speak to most of the issues that concern children in this country.
Deputy Minister for Gender and Children Affairs, Gifty Chum, encouraged parents to set standards for their children to emulate. This, she said, will groom them to become dignified individuals and also help the ministry cut down on cases associated with child delinquency.
We shouldn't be the buyers, the readers of the book to deceive ourselves, but it should be the actors, the doers of this book. And we're hoping that when all of us do our bit, the headache on the Ministry of Gender trying to manage issues of children will be minimized.
CEO of the National Identification Authority, Professor Kenatifa, stressed on the relevance of the child's voice in society.
There are many homes in this country, many spaces, many schools where children's rights, children's voices are not adequately respected or responded to. But the voices of minors matter. And whenever you ignore the voices of those you consider less important, sooner or later you will have to contend with the full force or weight of that neglect.
The first copy was sold for 20,000 Ghana cedis.
You're still watching Midday Live on TV3, which is also live on DSTV channel 279. We are back with some more stories after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Let's do some business stories now. The Institute of Chartered Accountants has asked the Bank of Ghana to tighten its regulations to streamline operations in the banking sector. According to Chief Executive of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Kwesi Ajuman, this will protect the deposits of customers and improve their confidence in the banking sector.
Two banks, Capital and UT banks, have folded up due to lack of adequate corporate governance. The Bank of Ghana in March 2018 appointed an official administrator for Unibank Ghana Limited. The official administrator, KPMG, is authorized to exercise a variety of powers to rehabilitate and return the bank to regulatory compliance within a period of 6 months, at the end of which the bank will be returned to private ownership and management. In May 2018, the Bank of Ghana confirmed it had appointed an advisor for Sovereign Bank Limited in April 2018. All these developments have in some way reduced the confidence of depositors in the banking sector. But the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana ICAG is urging the Bank of Ghana to further tighten its regulations. Chief Executive of the Institute, Kwesi Ajuman, said this will renew confidence of customers in the banking sector.
Collapsing of banks is actually the result of people not going by the book, not going by regulation. I rather support Bank of Ghana strengthening the regulation. I mean, the issues are there, the regulatory policies are there, but are the banks meeting all these policies? That is where I expect Bank of Ghana to strengthen the regulatory aspect of their operation.
Already, some finance experts have called on the Bank of Ghana to initiate prosecutions against those who flout banking regulations, leading to its collapse. But the chief executive disagreed.
The owners of such banks should generally be prosecuted. I don't support that. If you don't have any concrete reason that to support the fact that the owners have actually done something wrong. Through investigation, something is found against me as an owner of the bank or owner of any institution, that I used depositors' funds wrongly, that I used my influence as an owner, as an owner of a bank, to do anything contrary to expectation or regulation, then you can prosecute me.
Meanwhile, the Institute has pledged a strong commitment to collaborate with other institutions to improve the accountancy profession in the country.
Away from the banking industry, the Auditor General, Daniel Domelevo, is calling for quick data privacy and protection policies in Ghana's development agenda. The Auditor General was addressing the 7th Information Systems of the Audit and Control Association Conference in Accra.
The Ghana Charter of the Information Systems Audit and Control Association, ISACA, has been efficient in providing knowledge and best practices across professional fields in Ghana. With 120,000 professionals in 180 countries, including Ghana, ISACA provides globally accepted IT principles, practices, and analytical tools for governance and management responsibilities. ISACA, in previous conferences, provided a platform for cyber and disaster recovery management. The two-day 7th Information Technology Audit and Information Security and Risk Insights Conference is focusing on identity and data protection in a highly digitized world.
Basically, what that GDPR sought to do was to make sure that if you are anywhere in the world, and you process information, this information is supposed to be private information. And so if you do business with Kawasaki, and Kawasaki has that information, and Kawasaki carelessly makes that information available, the EU can sanction us.
The Auditor General of the Ghana Audit Service, Daniel Domlevo, said data privacy and protection policies must be given key attention.
The Data Protection Commission of Ghana, Ministry of Communication, and all accountable authorities should consider how we can revise, adopt, and develop evolving policies that will meet the test of time.
He added, proper data management builds trust across all sectors of development.
The ultimate goal should be shift from just compliance to the point where business feel some level of accountability in order to build a high level of consumer trust.
Daniel Domlevo noted the world has evolved into a global village and people need economic and social interconnection through the use of information technology systems. He therefore encouraged Ghanaians to be resilient in the use and application of ICT. Over 700 representatives across all professions are participating in the conference, and they are expected to be equipped with new and powerful set of skills and ICT systems.
That's all for business. Let's do some other stories now. The education of children of Gushegu and its environs in the northern region is threatened by commercial activity. Children engage in child labor by selling livestock on market days. Stanley Bleu tells a story of child exploitation in the area.
Gushegu is densely populated. The main economic activity is agriculture. A large market which attracts many also provides some economic activity to the people. Market days are usually 6 days from the previous market day. What draws many to the market is the sale of animals. The Gushegu District Assembly rakes in a lot of revenue from this. Crowds cover every space within the market on market days, but there is a danger. On these market days, children who are supposed to be in classrooms are sent to sell livestock. Others go to support their parents. Making ends meet is always an excuse used in exploiting children. But for some parents, however, education is not a priority. Managers of the market, however, say they have done everything to prevent children from absenting themselves from school on market days.
We don't want the children to be around here anytime. There are some days that children have been here and we have been driving them away always.
The Cattle Dealers Association feels parents do not care about their children's welfare.
It may be a child labor, but it is due to their parents. They are supposed to take care of them. Maybe they are not taking care of them, that's why they have been here, in order to get something to earn their living.
The association said the marketplace is dangerous for all.
The parents themselves know that it's a risky for them to be here, because we saw a lot of people which have been dealing with animals. The animals killed about 2 people here.
The District Assembly says it is unaware of child exploitation. Though poverty is rife in the district, some development experts have suggested the only way out is to ensure all children enroll and stay in school.
The Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, has tasked the motorbike patrol units of the service to help win back public confidence through their presence and interaction in communities. The Inspector General of Police was addressing members of the newly trained contingent at the National Operations Center here in Accra.
The country has, over the past few weeks, witnessed unprofessional conduct from some police personnel. The killing of 7 suspected criminals in Kumasi, the assault on the nursing mother at Midland Savings and Loans, and corporal punishment meted out to a 14-year-old pupil at Sefi Akontombra in the Western region. These events have further tarnished the image and public trust in the police. However, the Inspector General of Police says These can be rectified if the personnel are conscious about their environment.
In this world of social media, what has become very important about police service is that how do you communicate to the people? Communication. When we are able to overcome that challenge, is the people who will send a message and say that this is a world-class police organization.
David Asante appeared to again provided some tips to his charges.
The visitor who came, whether a criminal or not a criminal, you have to treat that person with civility. But in your mind, you know what you are doing. If, in the course of your work, you suspect somebody, it does not even matter. You can even salute that person, but you know what you are going to do at the end of the day. After all, if you are able to get the criminal to the courts.
A group calling itself Concerned Nkonya Youth has petitioned the president to investigate the Volta Regional Coordinating Council over alleged corruption in the Nkonya and Alavanyo conflict. The group again wants state officials in the conflict area investigated over criminal and human rights violations. Reports by Roberts Abioba.
The nearly 100-year-old conflict between the people of Nkonya and Alavanyo has claimed many lives and maimed hundreds. Several conflict initiatives have since failed to broker a lasting peace between the two neighbors. Now, a group calling itself Concerned Nkonya Youth is imputing a different dimension to the already precarious situation. They are accusing the Volta Regional and the District Coordinating Council of complicity.
We believe the Volta Regional Coordinating Council blocked our peace talks under the YPS Africa project so that they, the RCC, can continue making money out of the conflict.
According to them, the two bodies blocked a progressive peace-building initiative by the Youth for Peace and Security Africa with support from the United States for personal interests.
The connection between the VRCC and the dangerous and criminal armed groups engaged in illegal laundering. Why does the VRCC resist the soldiers and police from driving away these criminals?
The group again accused state institutions detailed to maintain peace of criminal violations and vowed to revolt against the district assembly. The district chief executive for Biakuye, Comfort Ikuata, denied the group claims.
I haven't come across any 10 million cedis being given to this assembly. I don't know if this thing is disbursed at the regional level or I don't know. So for this one, I don't have any knowledge about it.
She advised that the group investigates their source of information in order not to affect the ongoing peace program.
Now, 1.6 billion people in 970 cities across the globe will be constantly exposed to extreme temperatures by 2050. An additional 800 million people in 570 cities will be severely facing rising sea levels and coastal flooding. Professor Kwesi Appiah-Addo made the projections at a regional climate change and population conference on Africa in Accra.
The world's population of 7.2 billion is fast surging at 75 million per annum to hit a projection of 8 billion by 2020. Already the most pressing and complicated unresolved problems of the century and sustainable development is human safety and food security, as climate change fast threatens. Professor Kwesi Appiah-Addo of the Department of Marine and Fishery Sciences of the University of Ghana reiterated the climate change severity.
Last year, 8.8 million people were displaced because of climate change. This translates to 2,000 people being forced to leave their homes every hour. By 2050, 1.6 billion people in 970 cities will be constantly exposed. More than 800 million people in 570 cities will be vulnerable to sea level rise and coastal flooding.
He presented a picture on Africa and Ghana.
We are experiencing increasing periods of drought, rising sea level, declined fish stock in our oceans, severe flooding, saltwater intrusion, and coastal erosion.
The Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Mohammed Ajesoa is much worried about greenhouse emissions and energy compliance buildings.
We have to make sure that our BRT, our bus rapid transport system, is effective so that we reduce the greenhouse gas emissions being caused by the roads in Accra. We have reduced drastically the building permit and the purposes of applying for permits for buildings that are energy efficient compliance.
Executive Director of Ghana's Environmental Protection Agency, John Puamang, noted the agency has started working on climate-smart and integrated flood management policies.
The priority sectors are sustainable land use, including food security, climate-resilient infrastructure, equitable social development, sustainable mass transport, sustainable energy security, sustainable forest management, and then alternative urban waste management.
The conference is under the auspices of the Regional Institute for Population Studies at the University of Ghana through the African Adaptation Research Center of Excellence. Participants from across Africa are attending a 3-day conference dubbed The Future We Do Not Want.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. Let's do some stories now. 3FM, a subsidiary of Media General, has donated 100 cartons of Yamvita to the Village of Hope Orphanage Home. The donation, which is part of Media General's annual flagship programs, was done in collaboration with Promasido Ghana at Gomuafete.
Apart from educating, informing and entertaining the populace, 3FM has over the years impacted many lives through its numerous donation exercises. This year, it focused on the Village of Hope Orphanage Home, which caters for nearly 1,000 children. With a well-organized community comprising of a hospital, a vocational training center, and a school, the orphanage has set for itself a clear vision to minimizing cases of child homelessness and raise orphans and underprivileged children to become good citizens. Director of Child Care of the Home, Kwekusa Akodie, expressed his gratitude to 3FM and Media General for the gesture. He further called on other organizations to support these children.
TV3 and 3FM has been part of Village of Hope for the past 5 or so 6 years. And so today's own is not a new thing. But I must say that what they have done today is so exceptional. And we want to say God bless them. Collaborating with Promasido Ghana, who Promasido 2 is also a family to Village of Hope. They have also been helping us a lot. And so this morning, together with my children and all of us at Village of Hope, we want to say thank you, God bless you to 3FM and Promasido Ghana for this wonderful gesture they have shown to us.
Head of station of 3FM, Millicent Adaimensa, shared the station's source of inspiration behind the donation exercise.
From the beginning, it was a personal thing. I started contributing monthly towards the home. And then I decided one day to visit. So I saw the structures and all that was in place. I was impressed. And so from that point, I made it a decision from a departmental level to be saying thank you to God, like a kind of CSR on behalf of the department, to come visit with the little gifts we can put together by ourselves.
Yafo Sulabi has the latest in the world of sports. After this break, don't go away. Welcome back from the break. Let's do some stories on the international front. And Malawian Vice President Saulos Chilima, who has quit the ruling party and plans to run for president, says his administration would investigate alleged corruption among officials of the current government, and anyone at fault will not be spared. The impoverished Southern African nation has been rocked by corruption scandals over the last decade, and the issue has resurfaced in the run-up to national elections next year. Sky watchers around the world have witnessed the longest blood moon eclipse of the 21st century. As it rose during this total eclipse, Earth's natural satellite turned a striking shade of red or ruddy brown. The totality period, where light from the moon was totally obscured, lasted for 1 hour 43 minutes. At least part of the eclipse was visible from Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Australia, most of Asia and South America. In the UK, where the weather allowed, the moon could be seen to turn red, fully eclipsed by Earth, from where it rose at 21 o'clock until 22:15 hours. Over the coming days, Mars will be at its closest point to Earth since 2003, visible as a bright red star where skies are clear. People in the UK needed a clear southeastern horizon as the moon came up in order to see it. The best views where the weather permitted were across Eastern Europe, Central and East Africa, and Southeast Asia, from where the entire eclipse was visible. So, from the UK and Europe, the southeast was a place to look for the rising eclipsing moon with a bright red mass below. Jupiter could also be seen in the southern sky and Venus in the west. Let's do some entertainment stories. Season 8 winner of TV3's talented kid Samuel Owusu, popularly known as Young King Clef, has released his first song called Nshira. The inspiration behind the song was to thank God for how far he has brought him.
The
rapper pulled his way through thick competition to emerge victorious in the 9th edition of TV3's talented kids reality show. Samuel took over from DJ Switch, known in real life as Erica Tando, who was winner for season 8 performance. The rapper, who draws inspiration from Sarkodie, has proven to the world and Ghanaians that he can also be counted as one of the best rappers in the world and in Ghana with his debut song Nshira. The rapper is also looking forward to a collaboration with the likes of Sarkodie, Kwesi Arthur, Kwame Eugene, Kiddy and other mainstream artists in Ghana. In an interview with Justice Mensah on TV3's Talent Saturday, he asked him the inspiration behind his new song Nshira.
The talented kid's journey inspires me a lot because I think God has done a very good thing in my life. So I want to appreciate God with my first debut single. I wanted to appreciate God for how far he has brought me.
He also asked him on some of the mainstream artists that he would like to do a collaboration with.
Almost I'll say Sarkodie, Kwesi Arthur, Kwame Eugene, I think Kiddy and the rest. I want to do collaboration with them because I think that if you do collaboration with some of the biggest artists, you can also get a chance.
And we wish young King Clef all the best in his new career. Time now for us to take a look at how our in-house cartoonist Tilapia captured some major news events in the week. And that's how we end this edition Of Midday Live on TV3 came to you from our studios here at Adesawe Kanda, Accra. We were also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwa. Many thanks for joining us.